A Florida woman who had given birth was shocked to receive a $500,000 hospital bill. So now, BC Bennett, she had given birth to an infant son about 2 months premature. So look, he needed neonatal care, intensive care, and a lot of expensive procedures to be able to survive. Now, thankfully, he did. Now, at the end of that process, the hospital, AdventHealth Orlando, had billed the insurance company originally approximately about $660,553 for Dorian, the son's NICU care. Now, so here's the thing. This family, the mother has insurance. The mother has insurance, in fact, through the employer, which, by the way, does property insurance. So she's familiar with how insurance billing works. Now, that's going to play into the story a little bit later. So now she had insurance. She goes into the hospital and she gives birth and all of that. And they go through that entire harrowing situation in which she's got to not only worry about how much it costs, but also her son. And the primary thing to be worried about, of course, is the son. So now they had insurance through Assured Partners. Now, according to a snafu, however, or what is called a snafu, the patient responsibility portion of the bill sent to the Bennetts was $550,124. It's about $500,000. But don't worry, they offered her an installment plan of just $45,843 a month for the next year. Oh, is that all? Oh, is that the okay, wow. No problem. Sure, I can swing that. No, most people can't. I mean, not unless they're Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. For everyone else, that would ruin you. Absolutely ruin you. I mean, again, who's got that kind of money? No regular person does. So now the plan was apparently generated by the hospital's automated billing system. Now, look, I've talked about in a separate story rampant use of algorithms that hospitals use to upcharge patients. And so that's sort of a different system. So they'll use this software and they'll try to calculate the cost, but then they'll sometimes add a 625% upcharge. Now, the whole purpose of that is to get the insurance companies to pay more to the hospital so that the hospital can make a profit. And so now how it normally works is that you go in and you get your medical care and you pay your copays and deductibles, whatever. But the insurance company then has to haggle with the hospital in these these inflated upcharges to try to bring them down as the hospital tries to get the most money that they can out of the insurance company, who then, of course, sends the cost down to the rest of us who have to pay premiums that are incredibly expensive. Which, by the way, now, under the ACA, the government has to pay some of that upcharge because they're offering to help with premiums under the ACA plans. Now, for people who don't have insurance, guess what? You just get screwed, just overall. But even with insurance, we're all still getting screwed. So now, all right, let's get to more details about this. So now a spokesperson from the hospital, David Breen of AdventHealth, did not answer Kaiser Health News' questions about the billing software and why something like this did not get flagged. You would think that a payment plan for $45,000 a month would get somebody's attention. Like, hey, wow, this seems a little strange. But again, as I told you, this is all automated. There were no humans involved. And so here you go. You have this massive charge that nobody sees, nobody reviews. And by the way, nobody fixes. We'll get to that. Now, she had insurance. I keep stressing this because this is important. So now the insurance, baby Dorian was born in 2020. All right, right at the end, but needed hospital care into 2021. Now, at that time, it just so happened that Miss Bennett's employer shifted their healthcare plan to a different company in January of 2021. So now she technically still had insurance, but because they switched on her, again, she didn't switch it. She didn't change insurance companies. The company she worked for changed insurance companies. But now the bill, which was sent to both companies, both of them decided, I'm not going to pay it. No. Obviously, there are charges here, and we weren't covering this person, this baby, during that time. So I'm not going to pay it. That's what both companies said. So now you have neither insurance company doing what they're supposed to do, or theoretically paying this bill. So then it just comes down to Ms. Bennett. Hey, here's your $500,000 bill. Enjoy. But don't worry, you can make 12 easy payments of $45,000. You know what it ended up taking? It actually took about a year of calls and a reporter to get the problem fixed. And by the way, this is just this problem. The systemic problem is not fixed. But why did it take so long? Now, as I, again, explained, both insurance companies didn't want to pay the bill. And more details about that. In 2020, Dorian was covered under a United Healthcare plan, which for in-network providers, because she made sure, being in insurance as she is, she knew how the system worked. So she made sure that the doctor and the hospital were all in-network. They were all supposed to be in-network. So, here it is. Okay, we made sure we covered our bases, that this is going to be fine. It wasn't fine. Now, under her plan, which hadn't changed, just a company change, she had a $6,000 deductible and $6,000 out-of-pocket maximum for the family. But as I said, they changed from its third-party administrator of self-funded plans from United Health to UMR. Although UMR is owned by United Healthcare, the companies did not communicate about the case, and both had refused to pay for the premium. So that makes it even more insane. One company is owned by the other company, and yet both companies are like, no, we don't want to cover this at all. This is insanity. In fact, here's what she said when she had called them to try to figure this whole thing out. She said, they're in charge of billing, and I shouldn't be the one having to tell them, bill my one insurance for dates in 2020 and bill my other insurance for dates in 2021. But I did, and I ended up having the same conversation over and over and over. It took a year, almost a year, for them to fix it. All the way up until October for them to fix it. And that's only happened when a Kaiser Health News reporter had tried to talk to them about the bill, to challenge them over it. Hey, we're going to do a story on this. It took that, the possibility of negative press, to get this company to go, oh shit, we should be doing what we're supposed to do, and actually cover this person who, by the way, she pays the premiums. Her job pays premiums to these insurance companies to do this. But they decided, nah, I just want to keep the money. I just want to keep the money. Give it to me, give it to me. But thankfully, after UHC and UMR had reprocessed, meaning they actually did the job, the 2020 and 2021 claims, the original bill of more than $550,000 was knocked down to just $300, meaning they knew that they effed up and were forced to do something about it. You know, maybe it's because there are so many people out there calling for Medicare for all, or at the very least a public option, and saying we should get rid of insurance companies because they're screwing us over. They're screwing us over. And they're like, oh God, well, we don't want the story to get out. Well, too late. Too bad, so sad. The story is out. Because this is an obvious failure, not just of this insurance company, but of the entire system that incentivizes snafus for this to happen. And again, this woman did everything right. Everything was in network. Doctor was in network. Hospital was in network. She was covered by insurance. She even informed them, hey, look, my employer's changing insurance companies. This is who you should send the bills to. It wasn't any fault on her end. No, it was a fault on the insurance companies, and generally a fault on the system itself. And it just really, actually, you know what? I take that back. The one thing that she did wrong was the cardinal sin. And that's actually trying to use your insurance company. To use your insurance, the stuff that you pay for. They hate that. They love it when you're paying them premiums. But they don't like it when, you know, you actually have to use it. Oh my God, well, that takes away from the money that we could be making profits on. It just shows how our healthcare system, our health insurance system, should not be operated for profit. The entire thing needs to be trashed, scrapped, and started over. Because it encourages insane computer markups that lead to outrageous bills. And by the way, it's also that these hospitals and insurance companies can make as much profit as possible. That's why you get the profit motive out of healthcare for good. You do so by making sure that you have publicly funded hospitals and publicly funded insurance. Medicare for all, not for profit. That is the only way to go. And if you're one of those people that are concerned, but what about my doctor? I'm going to lose access to my doctor if I have Medicare for all. No, because under a Medicare for all system, every doctor has to, or else they're not going to be able to get paid. And that is why, of course, unfortunately, many wealthier doctors are against this. Whereas if you ask a lot of medical professionals, as I have, and I realize this is anecdotal evidence, so take it as you will, they all agree that we need a single-payer national healthcare system, national health insurance system at the very least, because the cost of healthcare is just absolutely unmanageable and insane. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.